Sonny Park. Please clap for Sonny Park. Give him a warm welcome on stage. Alan Chase is our advisor, and we have the pleasure to have Doug Johnson as part of the panel. Thank you, Doug, for being here. Please clap for Doug. And her presentation is called Capturing Myself. Go, Sonny.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eun Park from South Korea, and also known as Sonny. I am playing piano at Berklee Global Jazz Institute Master Program, and it is my pleasure to share my presentation today. First of all, I would like to introduce briefly about my concept of Culminating Experience project. Like writing my diary, I wanted to capture and share myself with my different kinds of emotions. There is nothing to fake myself, and I can be honest with my meaningful moments. The reason why I wanted to capture myself is because in the beginning of process, I had desire to give healing for people when they listening to my music. And as time goes by, while in this process, I notice I have so much diverse feelings inside as a human being. And as a musician, I needed to share my diverse feelings and communicate with people as capturing myself through my composing and performance works. I thank you for all the faculties, directors, visiting artists, all the colleagues in this program, and my advisor, Alan Chase, who encouraged me a lot, and my committee member, Doug Johnson, and all the amazing musicians who helped my recording session. They are from last 2016 spring semester silver ensemble colleagues in this picture. Poche as a co-director, Ga-young played janggu, which is Korean traditional drums, Eduardo on guitar, Edmar on saxophone, Hayden on bass, Cassivan on drums. I thank you to all. I'm going to share my 3 original tunes with capturing my 3 different kinds of emotions, which are joy, sufferance, and faith. First, my original tune I would like to share is about capturing my joyful moment called North End. In 2010, when I was 18 years old, visiting North End was special moments to me when I first came to USA in my life to study music at Berklee College of Music. When I first came to Boston here, I had full of curiosity and desire to learn something new about music. I had full of curiosity and desire to learn something new about music. I had full of excitement being around in Boston as an entering Berklee student. During the time I visited North End for the first time, somehow I felt freedom there, and I really enjoyed that moment that I could not express in words. After I went back to Korea, after I finished my bachelor degree at Berklee, I was missing Boston. I remembered that joyful moment at North End, and I wrote this song in Korea with Missing Boston. second tune I would like to share called Arirang that I wanted to capture about sufferance with the unique color of Korean traditional music and also to capture where I from. Arirang is the most representative Korean traditional folk song from old times until now. In particular, Arirang has various versions in each different of region in Korea. I arranged this tune by using theme of Jindo Arirang. And here is the map of South Korea, as you can see. It's where Jindo Arirang came from over the 100 years ago. I would like to play part of the original sound of Jindo Arirang by the master Korean classical singer So-hee Kim. In this tune, I also applied two different kinds of Korean traditional rhythms with Korean traditional drum called janggu. First section played based on semachi rhythm, and the time signature is 9/8. This underneath chart is traditional Korean way of notating. And second section played based on gutgori rhythm. I used to sing this song as a habit since I was young and was felt connection to feel unique colors of Korean traditional music about sorrow, sufferance, and these lyrics about missing the one who love, and also a story about a person climbing uphill that reminds we go through on the path of our life. The word arirang has many meanings, including suffering, heartbroken. In the last of section with Funky Group, I also narrated my story from my diary in Korean. I wrote this from experiencing my struggle in life path and talking about hope. 고통을 마주할 때 왜 인생은 이렇게 힘든 걸까? 인생은 쉽지 않다고 사람들에게 익히 들어왔어도 이렇게까진 힘들지 않을 것 같았는데 한 걸음 한 걸음 나아가려고 할 때마다 작은 변화는 있을 뿐 쉽게 되는 일은 없어 보였어. 가끔은 그냥 다 포기하고 멈추고 싶었지만 나는 아직도 이 길을 걷고 있네. 수없이 좌절도 했었지만 나는 아직도 이 길을 걷고 있네. 숨쉬는 이 호흡과 함께 이 호흡이 누군가가 준 선물이라면 매일매일이 선물이겠지? 세상의 모든 자연의 만물이 우리에게 준 선물이라면 다시 웃음 지을 수 있지 않을까? 아이 때의 첫 웃음처럼. 아리아리랑 스리스리랑 아라리가 났네. 아리랑은 아라리가 났네. 아리아리랑 스리스리랑 아라리가 났네. 아리랑은 아라리가 Thank you. I had one more original tune that made capturing my faith, but for time wise, I'll stop here.
Great, Sunny. Once again, Sunny, please, Park.
Bravo, that was excellent. I'm struck all the way through how clear all of your ideas are, whether it's something you're presenting, whether it's the images or all the way through your music. And I also appreciate very much how clearly you were able to present them in a second language. All the way through it was beautifully clear.
Thank you.
And a wonderful balance between intuition and emotion and planning and intellect, just wonderful balance all the way through.
Excellent playing. You're such a great player and songwriter, and I'm so impressed with your speaking
Really? Thank you.
today. Woohoo! So just real quick, can you in just a couple of sentences just say what the faith part would have been?
Yeah.
Really quickly.
So for the, I was reading the Psalm 16 scripture in the Bible that gave me so much energy in my personal spiritual path, and I just improvised freely by using all the words in Psalm 16. There was no formation. The only thing that was given a vamp of bass line as like my physical walking. So I connected this concept of improvisation with words because Danilo taught us about improvisation with form of speech, which made me realize melody and language both are made of speech and rhythm. So that's the concept of.
Okay, can you just within like 20 seconds play the bass line? No, I mean on the piano. Or where's if it's easier there.
I can play.
Yeah, just play the bass line. Just if that's the only thing that was, then you're improvising. Okay. All right, great. So the reason why I wanted to know that is because you have joy, sufferance, you said, I think, and faith.
Yes.
The first piece that you played, you just played the melody, the theme. You didn't play any solo of
Right.
yourself. You spoke about it kind of briefly. And then the second piece we heard more in its entirety, and then you never got to the third piece.
Mhm.
And I guess if I were to just, how would I say this? I feel that you are more connected. I feel a personal connection more with your second piece
Mhm.
than your first piece. And I would just encourage you to try. I think when in our youth, we focus more on our suffering or the things that give us anxiety
Mhm.
or the pain in our lives. And then as we get older, we focus more on the joy and the beauty of life. And I just would encourage you and everybody else to not wait that long. To start, focusing and claiming your joy now.
Okay.
Because you have so much, going for you. You're so talented. And I want to hear you as connected to your joy as you are to your suffering. Because they're both, two sides of the same coin. And there will always be suffering and joy in life. And then you never begrudge your faith, right? You have to keep going. So always just, oh. But, yeah. No, but what you did was beautiful. So keep doing that. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Very honest, very beautiful
Thank you.
presentation. I also connected most with Arirang. And I love the way that you connected that with the ancient rhythms, traditional rhythms. I want you to talk about the third part of that piece, the up-tempo part. Just if you could just talk about that a little bit,
The third part
of that section, of that piece.
of that section, I like funk originally, so I wanted to create my own way of rhythm, third part, and with my speech. So that came up with to express, to share my own. Yes.
Mm-hmm. What it connected with for me was something from my culture, where I'm from, in New Orleans. I heard the ritual that is the New Orleans funeral. I heard the dirge, and I heard the uphill march that life can feel like. But then I heard celebration at the end. That's the cycle.
Mm.
That's the cycle. And it strikes me frequently the universality of musical expression and artistic expression.
Mm.
And I think you're expressing that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on the music. It's been such a pleasure to work with you this year. It's really been an interesting and inspiring process to see you grow as a musician. I think you came into this program very strong, but a little bit uncertain about that. And I see the words I want to keep emphasizing to you are, they're not things, they're things you already have that I want you to even more feel, which is power, confidence, strength and conviction. And your playing is so good. You play the piano very, very well. You play with power and expression, confidence. You place notes well. The piano speaks when you play it. It sings. You know, it's really beautiful piano playing. I would like you to keep highlighting this more in the future years and really feel you have a voice on the piano and really sing out with it as a band leader and as a soloist and as an ensemble member, which you're very supportive as well. And a great listener. You have great ears. The technique is really working for you. And the musical results are just really beautiful. I've heard all of the pieces all the way through, and I agree that you put a lot of thought and time into arranging Arirang and making it say what you wanted it to say, and it really is personal, and then the spoken word thing really works, and the singing, and it's very moving. I mean, I'm choked up listening to it, even though I've heard it several times. It's even more powerful now. But the other things you did, which I've heard, are really great too. I agree that the old piece is not quite as personal. It's a good piece. It's effective and fun, and you play a great solo on it, which we didn't hear. But the personal stuff is coming out more and more. And I wanted to just mention one thing about our process of working together. I didn't actually introduce this to you. You heard about it somewhere else, but we worked a lot in our class on jazz history as an inspiration and a source of ideas. And there was a great thing that happened, I think I'm right about this, that you kind of discovered Paul Bley's playing, which is probably a very different way of playing from how you played 5 years ago. Yeah. And he was inspired by working with Ornette Coleman and trying to find a way to make the piano have this kind of vocal and blues inflected quality. That's one of the things he did. And it inspired Keith Jarrett a lot, which sometimes he admits and talks about. And it inspired you, and I hear it in your solo that we heard. I hear these bent notes and these interesting kind of twisted inflections and things. You can find so many things in not just jazz, but all music, but jazz in particular, pianists that you haven't heard enough yet, periods of pianists that you know, but you don't know all of their work, and be inspired by that, but keep your voice. You don't have to keep changing styles every time you learn something new, but just absorb those as you did with that. It was great, the way you made that part of yourself. And it gave you an idea, and then you use that idea in your own way, which is perfect. That's why we're doing it. So, very moving music. Thank you very much. Sorry to talk so long here, but
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sunny, first of all, I want to congratulate on this beautiful presentation, the way you put together everything, your speech, all was so clear. I know that for you, language is a barrier, and you totally worked it out in a way where your message came across very, very strongly. I also would like to congratulate the band. Sound amazing. I would like to everybody clap for Emma and everybody. Wow. Beautiful playing. And while I was kind of getting lost into your music, I was thinking, I always have this personal way of seeing how much I like something, and if I think, well, this is something I will definitely want to hear in my own, then it means that I really, really like it, which, I may like things, but not necessarily want to listen to it. And one of the things that I really like about music that I like is that all of a sudden I'm hearing, the message or the composer or the spirit instead of the piano solo or the sax solo. You just hear the whole message of the music, and I really felt that with your music. And it's funny knowing you because you're very reserved and you don't, you don't talk much, but your presence is always very pleasant. But by hearing your music, I really felt like I there's a lot of you that spoke tons about your spirit and your way of being. So congratulations. This
Thank you
is
so
wonderful.
much.